You are not ready for the saga of Margaret Ellison, the queen of clipped hedges, laminated HOA rulebooks, and what I can only describe as suburban psychological warfare. And me? I'm Malcolm Pierce. I live on Heatherstone Drive in the Pinebrook Ridge community, which sounds serene, doesn't it? You'd think all the trouble in my life would come from spreadsheets. I am a tax auditor, but no. The real audit came from my next-door neighbor, armed with a whistle, a grudge, and eventually, a jackhammer. It all started on a Saturday morning in mid-May, the kind where the sun kisses your skin just enough to remind you it's still gentle. I was outside doing what every homeowner eventually discovers is strangely satisfying, power washing the driveway. My wife, Danielle, was inside, likely elbows deep in one of those forensic crime podcasts she's obsessed with. Birds were chirping, a breeze was dancing through the trees, and I had my old Ryobi humming like a dream. That driveway had seen things: rust stains, tire marks, mysterious gunk from the previous owner, and I was determined to return it to its original glory. 20 minutes in, soaked from mist and feeling like a suburban superhero, I caught a flicker of movement from the corner of my eye. There she stood, Margaret, leaning against her porch post like a hawk stalking prey. She wore a pearl-buttoned cardigan, navy slacks, and the same expression she gave us when we moved in 6 months ago, a mix of confusion, suspicion, and superiority. She had once introduced herself by saying, "I take the HOA covenants very seriously. No handshake." Just that. She raised her arm like a queen addressing the unwashed masses. "Excuse me." I turned off the power washer. "Good morning, Margaret." Her lips pursed so tightly it looked like she was trying to hold in a sneeze. "It's 9:42. Do you know the noise policy for Saturdays?" "I do," I said, wiping my hands. "Starts at 8 a.m. I checked before starting. Should be good." She scoffed like I'd suggested we hold a monster truck rally on the front lawn. Some of us enjoy peaceful mornings. I glanced around. Birds. Wind. My Ryobi quietly hissing down. "It's just a power washer. Won't be long." Her eyes narrowed. "You people think you can move in and do whatever you want. There are standards here. You people." Now I'm a black man married to a white woman, and we were one of the first non-white families on Heatherstone. I knew what she meant. She didn't need to spell it out. But I wasn't going to take that bait. I just said, "I'm cleaning my driveway, Margaret. I'll be done in an hour." She muttered something under her breath and stormed inside. I went back to work. 5 minutes later, I saw her again, this time on the phone. And then, like clockwork, I heard its sirens. 2 squad cars pulled up. Officers Jensen and Park stepped out, looking more amused than alarmed. Jensen asked, "Everything all right here, sir?" Before I could answer, Margaret rushed over, clutching her chest like she was starring in a soap opera. "He was threatening me. Verbally abusive. The machine's damaging the street." I stood there, dumbfounded. "Officer, I'm literally washing my own property. There are no chemicals. Just water." Officer Park looked at the power washer. "Electric or gas?" "Electric." He turned to Margaret. "Ma'am, this isn't excessive. He's within legal hours and using legal equipment." Margaret's jaw dropped. "You're not going to do anything?" "No, ma'am," Park replied, clearly tired of her theatrics. That should have been the end of it. But I could tell from the way she glared at me it wasn't over. I underestimated how deeply unhinged Margaret was. Because 2 days later, while I was on a Zoom call for work, I heard the sound of concrete screaming. I ran outside, and there she was, Margaret, with a rented orange jackhammer, pounding away at my freshly cleaned driveway like she was auditioning for a demolition derby. Safety goggles, pearls, and everything. "Margaret," I yelled, "what the hell are you doing?" She didn't even pause. "Fixing what you ruined. You're destroying private property." She smirked. "Just correcting a neighborhood eyesore." I called the police. Again. This time, they arrested her. For real. Destruction of property, violation of city code, you name it. She screamed the entire time, claiming discrimination, that I was poisoning the street, that she was the victim. But here's the thing. That moment? That was just the beginning. I filed for a restraining order. Got one. Hired a lawyer. Her name's Lucia Kim, sharp as a tack. She told me, let's play smart. Civil court, HOA records, property surveys. We use her weapons against her. We got our hands on the HOA complaint history. Margaret was responsible for 72% of all complaints in the past 5 years. Christmas lights, lawn heights, one poor kid's lemonade stand she hated joy. Then came the crown jewel, a property survey. Turns out, a chunk of what Margaret thought was her flower bed actually extended into my lot. 2 feet by 10 feet. And on that strip, her prized roses. Award-winning, according to her own HOA newsletter submissions. With legal clearance, I built a low stone wall. A tasteful, HOA-approved retaining wall. Right on the property line. Her roses? Dug up carefully with professionals and replanted in my backyard. The look on her face when she saw that wall go up. That was pure, unfiltered anguish. But she wasn't done. She tried throwing yard waste over the wall, poisoning my flowers, adjusting her sprinklers to soak my porch. All caught on camera. Every single petty act, documented and delivered to Officer Park and Attorney Kim. Eventually, Margaret's own lawyer reached out, offered a settlement. She'd sell her house, leave Pinebrook Ridge. In exchange, we dropped the new charges: chemical property damage, restraining order violations. I said yes. 89 days later, a moving truck rolled up. Margaret didn't even say goodbye, just glared from the passenger seat of her car like a dethroned monarch. New neighbors moved in, a young couple with 2 kids and a labradoodle named Pepper. They brought cookies, laughed at the story of the Great Wall of Malcolm. And me? I sit on my porch now, coffee in hand, watching the sun bounce off the perfectly sealed concrete of my driveway. The birds sing. The kids play. And somewhere, hopefully far, far away, Margaret fumes in silence. So if you're ever dealing with a Margaret in your life, remember this. Don't shout. Don't stoop. Document. Organize. Strategize. And maybe, just maybe, invest in a really good security camera. Now let's hear, what would you have done if Margaret was your neighbor? Would you have taken her to court? Build a wall? Or maybe something even crazier? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Like, share, and subscribe for more HOA madness and suburban warfare stories that prove sometimes peace has a price and it's paved in concrete.